Welcome to Astrobabble. I'm Donna from Donna B Astrology.
And I'm Lynda from Scullywag Astrology.
This is Astrobabble, where we babble about astrology. And today we are going to be talking about the full moon in Libra.
That's right. And I'm just going to share the screen. Sorry.
Okay, and I'll talk about the moon mansions. The moon mansion for this full moon is going to be, it's called the Claws. It's the 16th moon mansion. It's at the horns of the Scorpio, and it's got the nature of Saturn and Mars. This is really good for business, and because it's really good for business, it's not really good for the love life. But if you've got business, if you've got trading, if you are doing commerce, if you are going to embark on a venture of any kind, this is a good moon mansion to do it on. Not so well for marriage.
Hmm.
So yeah, that is the moon mansion. It is the 16th moon mansion and for business, which is nice.
That is nice. Yeah. Unfortunately, this full moon, because the full moon's in Libra, the ruler of Libra is Venus, and Venus is in Taurus where it can't see Libra. So unfortunately, Venus won't be able to assist this full moon. But the other benefic, Jupiter, will be opposing the full moon.
Nice to have Jupiter there.
Yeah. Saturn can't harm this full moon because it's in Pisces, and that's in aversion to Libra. It'll be interesting.
Mars is around, but
Mm.
not by degree. So
Yeah. It's in Cancer, and it will be an overcoming square, but not by degree. So that is some saving grace. Interesting that we got Chiron with the sun opposite this full moon, and that Mars overcoming it by sign.
makes you wonder what that is all about.
Full moons are usually about endings or completions, high points. It's a time of harvest. This may be wrapping up or completion of something that was started at the time of the Libra new moon last year. Maybe it might be quite emotional with that Chiron there.
Pluto's in a square with Mercury.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, and Mercury is sextiling Mars. It's just like a hop, skip, and a jump.
I don't know. I just kind of get a sense there might be some tears with these endings or culminations. Hopefully happy tears. But as you pointed out, you've got that Mercury sextile Mars, which will be coming up later. It shouldn't be overly negative, but that Mars is in a very emotional sign, and it's in fall. So it's not in a very strong position. I wonder if it could be kind of a case of hastiness, or I don't know, maybe as this full moon comes up, when you're kind of reaching that culmination or that high point, or even coming to an ending of some type, maybe just try and not be too hasty, too not eager, but like just exercise perhaps a little bit of patience, or try not to force matters perhaps, because just with that Chiron with the sun opposite that full moon, I don't know. And I mean, we do have Jupiter as the benefic there, but that benefic can also escalate or inflame things. Jupiter likes to enlarge. That Jupiter by sign is overcoming that Mars, but it's a square. So actually, probably Jupiter's. Yeah, I don't know. I just think perhaps try and let things go at their own pace. I think pushing, shoving, trying to make things happen sooner than they wanted could possibly backfire. That's just a sense I get.
I totally agree. I totally agree with that, because there's a lot of wishiness with this. Saturn's in Pisces, Neptune is sextiling Venus. it just seems like there's not this is a good time to take a pause to really think through the details. I'm getting that sense that it's just not that it's a bad idea that you might have, it's that it does require detail. And I don't think the detail is, I think the detail is getting hidden for some reason. And I don't, it might be because the Mercury is too close, but it's out of the beams. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what is the feeding my feeling of wishiness. Maybe there's a lot of water. Mars is in water, Saturn's in water. Maybe that's it. I'm just seeing a lot of water.
Yeah, just talking about that Mercury, it's with the North Node, so that's going to increase. But with Mercury, it is out from under the beams, which is great, but it's in a slow thinking sign of Taurus. So, pushing, if you can only think at this pace at this time, trying to push that is not going to be a good thing. And I mean, that upcoming sextile between Mercury and Mars is kind of quick thinking, quick action, quick. And as it's a sextile, we would hope that it would be helpful, but just, I don't know. But the thing that's popping into my head with Mercury is that it's not benefic, it's not malefic. It takes on the properties of whichever planet it's most closely configured to, and it's most closely configured to that Saturn by degree, from what I can see. Yeah. So this Mercury might have a little bit of a malefic nature, perhaps.
Especially with the moon mansion, it's the nature of the moon mansion is Saturn and Mars. So
interesting. And they're just coming off of a trine, because Mars will have recently, probably a couple of days prior, have had its trine to Saturn.
Yeah.
With the moon mansion, it said specifically that it's not good for relationships.
Yeah. Usually the moon mansions go upon my reading in Christopher Warnock's Mansions of the Moon book. He has them listed. And usually when business is up and favorable, it's not so favorable for the relationships, because if you have your head in work, you're not thinking about home. So I think that's where that comes from.
Which is really interesting, considering, we think of Libra as being very much about relationships, about the other, about, harmony and all that. Very interesting. Will be an interesting full moon.
Yeah. Well, I think that we're all kind of getting used to the new energy with Mars just recently transferring sign or going into another sign, and Pluto is just recently went into another sign, and Saturn recently went into a sign less than 30 days ago. So these are all planets that generally have stayed in signs for over months. Mars typically doesn't, but it's been in retrograde. But once, I mean, these planets that have been in signs for many months are now changing, and we're kind of feeling a little different kind of energy. And
yeah,
I think it's to get on with stuff that we need to get on with, and don't forget about the details. I think that would be I think that's the reason why I'm saying that, is because Neptune's, right in that same sign with Saturn, and Saturn is, wants you to think about the details and this, that, and the other thing. And Neptune's like, yeah, no, not necessarily.
Yeah, I totally get you. Yeah.
So you might get the general idea, with Jupiter in a sign with the sun feeding the full moon, we might get more the worldly visions. Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Because we're wanting to, Jupiter wants you to have that world view, and wants you to think of just not yourself, but outside of yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's
Unfortunately, that Jupiter's under the beams too. So or combust actually, because it's so close to the sun, it's being burnt up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
But Saturn's sitting right there in Jupiter's sign, so
Interesting.
it definitely is an interesting setup. And this could, with Chiron, you were mentioning earlier, Chiron is with that full moon setup or makeup. This could be a opportunity to, start those health regimes that you've been wanting to. Chiron is the sign of the wounded healer. It's
Mm.
time. It may be time to to heal your own wounds.
Actually, that would be a really good use of, you were saying this moon mansion is very Martian and Saturnian, Mars, the literal energy, and Saturn, the discipline. So, and we will have
Yeah,
just had that trine just prior to this full moon. So,
exactly. And I know from my experience, since I have learned the planets, when I go to plan things, if I include all of the celestial bodies up there, it's the event seems to work out quite well if I have included everyone. By everyone, I'm talking about the planets. If Mercury is represented, Venus, Uranus, Saturn, Mars,
Mhm.
Pluto, the moon, yeah. If everybody's represented, things tend to go well. So
Yeah.
I don't know how it would work for the other people, but for me, I kind of pay attention to all the planets.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Maybe when you're talking about that, made me think of Sleeping Beauty. The one witch or one god fairy or whatever's not invited, and so she curses everyone. So yeah, you got to pay attention, otherwise you might be cursed.
Oh,
Mm. Well,
or does that just happen naturally?
yeah, sometimes there's no avoiding it, I think. Shall we have a look at the horoscopes?
Yes, and how it's going to look for each sign.
So if you are a Libra ascendant, this full moon is happening in your first house. The first house is all about us. It's our appearance. It's our physical vitality. It is how others perceive us, how other people view us. This full moon, it could make you quite emotional because with the moon in the first house, emotions are more visible because the first house is quite a visible house. This could be a time of completion or endings or high points with regard to your appearance, your health and vitality. It could be something as simple as, you got a really great haircut, or, you've got a really nice wardrobe item that you like. It could be just, yeah, maybe you've been working on your physical health or, eating right, doing all the right things, and you're feeling more vital and more energetic, more healthy.
So if you are a Virgo rising, this full moon is going to be happening in your second house. And the second house is all about your finances and what supports you. And with this, you might find different ways of getting income.
Mm.
If you have started a business, this would be a perfect mansion to do it. If you are a Virgo rising, this would be a perfect day to launch a business. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you are a Leo rising, this full moon will be happening in your third house. The third house includes topics such as siblings, cousins, our local neighborhood, our local area. It's what's familiar to us. This can include things like early education, communications in general, short distance travel. So there might be endings, high points, or culminations to do with these topics. It could be that it's not affecting you. It could be somebody, like, it could be something happening to a sibling. They're coming to some high point or culmination in their lives. It could be any matter to do with them. They could be getting married. They could be graduating from somewhere. They could be have reached some goal. It could be a short-term course. You might have been doing a course that wouldn't necessarily be covered by the 9th house because it might not be necessarily higher education, but short courses are quite often included in the 3rd house. So maybe you've completed a course, could be you got that car that you wanted, or just communications in general might have significations of completion or endings. Maybe you're wrapping up, something similar to that.
Very nice. And if you are a Cancer rising, this is going to be happening in your 4th house. And the 4th house, things will be culminating with either your own home or your parents' home or your parents. This has a lot to do with your lineage and things that come from your lineage. So it could be the family home, things that would be surrounding that. And don't forget, there's those other aspects that are with this sign. So Saturn and Mars are definitely part of this full moon. So it might have you pay attention to the details of, your parents or your lineage, something like that.
And if you are a Gemini ascendant, this full moon is happening in your 5th house. The 5th house includes topics such as children, creativity. It's what we do for fun. It's romance. It's socializing. It is hobbies. It is sport, gambling. So yeah, this could be a high point. Maybe you're finishing up some artistic project that you've been working on. Maybe, a baby is born around about this time, or whether that's yours or someone close to you. Or it could be something to do with your children. Maybe they've been working towards something and this is a time of harvest or culmination, or yeah, something similar. Just looking at all that 12th house activity there, wondering how problematic that might be. But yeah, could be a costly time with you. Well, you're probably going to find currently is a bit of a costly time because you've got Mars in the 2nd. So just with Mercury, Uranus, and Venus also in the 12th house, could just mean that there's things going on behind the scenes. But yeah, it's all in aversion to this full moon. So I'd say that's a separate thing to this. But yeah, just something to watch. Just watch, how would you put it? Undoings. Very easy to slip into things that kind of might not be to your best benefit.
Especially with Uranus in that 12th house. I can definitely see that point. And if you are a Taurus rising, this is going to be happening in your 6th house. And this is the house of culmination. So this will be the house of things that you do daily. This could also be things that this could also be concerning your health. So if you have, a health concern, this would be a good time to make sure that you're getting it addressed. I'm thinking, especially with that Chiron right opposing that. Don't, if you're a Taurus, don't let things go if you have an issue. Get it checked out. This could also be something that you do for, is in service. So if you are in one of the service industries, this would become, this could be something that would have to do with your job that would come to a culmination.
Yeah.
Or you might go for training, because I'm seeing that the sun is in the 12th house. This could have something to do with going away to get your skills up.
Yeah. I know you've mentioned like police academies and stuff like that as 12th house, or just academies in general. Doesn't have to be necessarily for police. But yeah, going away, getting that training at a spot that's far away from home, or away from home anyway. And if you are an Aries ascendant, this full moon is happening in your 7th house. The 7th house is our closest one-on-one relationships. So this includes our romantic partners, but also business partners, close friends, and client relationships. This is often indicative of high points, culminations, or endings to do with those matters. So this could be you're getting engaged, you're getting married, It could be maybe you've been dating and now it's become a little bit more serious. It could be joining together with somebody like, yep, let's do this together, business-wise, or just some high point with a friend, perhaps, a close friend. 11th house is also friends, but they tend to be friends. We're talking about very close friends here, where it's a very personal relationship. With Mars in the 4th, particularly if this is a romantic partner or somebody you live with, could be, yeah, well, a more active time anyway. Yeah. But yeah, for some, naturally, this may be the end of a relationship too. But if you're an Aries ascendant, don't think, oh my God, the relationship's going to end. It could be just the ending of one part, because this isn't just endings, it's also high points and culminations. It's the harvest. You've put in all that hard work. Now is the time to bring in the harvest and, celebrate. So if you are hearing endings and thinking, oh my God, maybe there's a reason why that is. But generally speaking, it doesn't necessarily mean that. It can also be high points.
And if you are a Pisces rising, this is going to be happening in your 8th house. And this is going to be things that are coming to fruition in the 8th house matters, such as other people's money. This could be, hopefully, if you've gotten your taxes done, this is be a good tax, time to turn in your taxes, because it's about that time. Yeah. Or if an inheritance is coming, this could also come to you at this time. So a full moon means things are coming to you and you're reaping the rewards of the hard work that you've done in the past. So with it being in the 8th house, if you're a Pisces rising, this is going to have to do with other people's money or your spouse's, even your spouse's way of income. So this will be coming to fruition, and things will be coming to you with a full moon.
Yeah, with that Jupiter in your 2nd of personal finances too, could well be money coming to you. That'd be nice. And if you're an Aquarius rising, this full moon is happening in your 9th house. The 9th house is foreigners, overseas travel, other beliefs and cultures, religion, philosophy. It's the law, publishing, and it's also esoteric subjects such as astrology, tarot. There might be a high point or ending to do with these matters. It's also higher education. So maybe you're wrapping up some study at this time. Maybe you're graduating. Maybe you're traveling at this time to distant shores. You may be wrapping up a matter to do with somebody who's from a different country or culture. Or it could be something to do if you've had a trial or a lawsuit in progress. This could be a time when it actually comes to completion.
Yeah. And if you are a Capricorn rising, the full moon is going to be happening in your 10th house. And this is the house that you are recognized. The world recognizes you as you are in this 10th house. And this could be things that it's also the house of career. So if it isn't like how you're known in your community, it could be how you're known at work. So this could be recognitions that you might get at work for doing a project. So if you've been working on something, this would be the time that you would get recognized for it. Maybe you could also get a job promotion is also indicative of this type of aspect if you are a Capricorn rising.
That would be nice. And if you are a Sagittarius rising, this full moon is happening in your 11th house. The 11th house is groups, friends, and organizations. It's also our hopes and dreams. It's allies and people that assist us. So there's a high point, culmination, or ending regarding these matters. You might be in a group and there's been some big project that's been planned and it comes to completion at this time. Or it could be that you're actually leaving a group, or It could be a friend, for example, who's moving away. Maybe you're not going to be seeing them as often or as much. With this being the house of hopes and dreams, this could be the achieving a dream. This is the culmination or the high point. It could possibly be that too. Or perhaps you've got somebody that can assist you. You know, this is a house that also things like networking is available, because the 11th house is moving towards the 10th house of career and public reputation. Maybe at this time you have a mentor or somebody that can assist you that might actually be able to reach that high point or assist you with some sort of goal there.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm getting the feeling that this Venus is a little stronger because she's got 5 points of dignity, and I think she will be able to help that moon just a little bit, I think, in
Yeah,
my opinion.
it's one of those things. I know there's a specific word for it, but
Generosity.
but when they're both ruled by the same planet.
Yep.
Yeah, like Venus and Taurus are in aversion to each other. Same with Scorpio and Aries. But because they're both ruled by the same planet, it's kind of, well, actually,
They get a little help.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's Scorpio, because I'm just about to say this for my Scorpio risings people in my life. This would be a great time for health. Again, I don't know, it's because of medical, I don't know. If you were to start a new health regime, this is going to be happening in your 12th house if you're a Scorpio rising. And this would be a great time to, go away to I don't know, a place that's going to do your soul good, and, get yourself healthy, do whatever you need, make what decisions you need to make to get on a more healthy regime, because this is the house of being, the full house is going to happen, or the full moon is going to happen in the house of seclusion. So this is where you're going to do that inner work, where you're going to go behind the scenes and do something that is going to tick the box of being something that's culminating for you. So whether you have decided on a new eating style, a new exercise regimen, getting all your doctor's appointments all settled, this would be a good time for you to work on that. Otherwise, if you're a Scorpio rising, this could also be, things culminating of self-undoing with all that water. You want to be careful of the overindulgences of drugs and alcohol. So I would, if you're a Scorpio rising, these would be the key things I would look for, is getting a new healthy regime going. This aspect will support that, or you might be doing some self-undoing things.
Yeah, I just noticed too that South Node, which is decrease or fall in the first house of health and vitality. So yeah, it would definitely seem to point to needing to get a handle on that somewhat. And Donna, do you have a stone for us?
I do. I do. And I don't know. I know it's tax season in the United States, but I've noticed a lot of people, and it's not, people aren't falling apart around me, but there is a lot of anxiety. And that's exactly what this stone is for. And I use this a lot. This is called Lepidolite. And it comes in, you can tell the different colors of purple. It's a purpley color, and it can go from very dark, like that's this one.
Nice.
Okay. So, but this one's a polished one. This one here is a polished one. So, these ones are just regular rough rock. I think if I scratched it on my hand, you would see it's almost like there's glitter on these things. They're very sparkly.
Yeah, you can see that they're very sparkly. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is a great stone. It's a third eye stone. It's for anxiety, and that's what I use it for. Oh, okay. I use it for anxiety for most of my layouts for a lot of people that come to me. Unless they say, you know what, I got it all together, my knee just hurts, or something like that. I'll go, okay, well, what are you trying to work on as far as your third eye? Um, because there can be differences. It does have a Mohs hardness of a 2.5 to a 3, so
Wow.
it's quite breakable. But I know when I gave this when I gave this rock to or this crystal to my husband, he keeps it in his pocket. So, and it hasn't marred up much. I think you can work with it in jewelry, um, for sure. But it is quite soft, and it can get scratched up, broken, and cracked easily. It works with really all of the chakras as well. But I mainly use it for the third eye, and it goes with the element of water. Um, yeah, and I will be writing an article about it because it is a great stone. It's one of the first stones that I went to and was like, oh, I've got to incorporate this. And I bought like literally handfuls of it. I mean, just handfuls of it. Yeah, and I've got it in beads. I'm working with it on so many different levels, whether people are carrying it around, whether I'm using it in layouts. It is a good stone to have. If you've got a lot of anxiety going on, pick up a lepidolite.
Very good. Okay, so our first major aspect is a very wildly romantic one. It's Venus sextile Neptune. This can be incredibly dreamy. This is kind of like knight in shining armor. This is a little bit maybe rose-colored glasses, but it's a sextile, which is helpful. So this is just enjoying romance, affections, and typically we would talk about romantic affections with this, but this can also be just idealistic, enjoying time with the people in your life. This could also be ideal for if you have something that's very close to your heart, an idealistic pursuit that aligns with your values. This could be a good way to go with this too. If there's a cause very close to your heart that you feel good about, this may be a time when, you feel, I wouldn't say compelled, but certainly inclined to lend your energies that way.
Very nice. I was thinking with the Venus sextiling Neptune, I was thinking boat. If you are buying a boat, this would be a great aspect for that. You've got that benefic and you've got that waterness.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I
It's
could see
starting to
that
get warm
working.
here. I'm thinking water.
Yeah, no, I see Venus sextile Neptune. I think romance, like the whole white knight. This is starry-eyed lovers. But for
Yes.
people that aren't lovers or, looking for that, this could be, good friendships. This is just nice. Like Donna said, it's a benefic. Neptune does blur those boundaries a bit. Sometimes that can be fun, as long as you don't take it too far and perhaps read more into it than's there, you're fine.
This is a great aspect for even art and beauty. For if you've got an art
Mm,
project,
mm.
that Neptune's going to give that um subconscious push to get out that beauty that Venus is trying to do. I like it.
Yeah, well, that Neptune can be glamour too. So, yeah, very nice with beauty or art in general.
A great day for very, very nice aspect. Oh, fighting words. Fighting words can come up with Mercury and Mars when they are there. It's a sextile, so it's a nice one. Maybe it's not so much fighting. Maybe it's trying to change somebody's mind and get them motivated to, do some, to create some kind of action. That's what Mercury and Mars can do on a positive note, is get people through communications, get them to to do action.
Yeah,
And Mars in the Cancer sign is feeling that. Definitely understands that.
yeah. I think this is quick thought, quick action. That Mercury, which is our thinking, communications, and learning, it's in Taurus, which does tend to be a little bit more slow and a little bit more unmovable when it comes to changing its mind, but it's in the superior position. So yeah, look, this should be positive. Like Donna said, it's a sextile. I think this is thought and action working together.
Yes. A very good positive aspect to get things done.
Yeah, that Mercury's with the North Node, which can increase it. It is quite a good Mercury in that it's out from under the sun's beams. When it's too close to the sun, it gets kind of overshadowed by the sun. We can't see it, but it's out, it's bright, it's visible. And yeah, overcoming, well, sextiling Mars. Mars isn't in the best position, but, he's, not too bad. Mercury's not awfully strong, but yeah, look, I think this is thought and action. That Mars, not as get up and go as I would like to see it. It's a bit more emotional. But yeah, that Mercury's calling the shots here, and that Mercury's in Taurus, so it knows what it wants. Probably good for tangible results.
Yeah. It's certainly setting up that way.
Mm.
And then, so the next aspect is Venus is going into Gemini, and this is a sign where she is losing dignity. She is peregrine right
Yeah.
now. She doesn't, it's not a sign that she has any essential dignity, which means she doesn't have any term, face, or rulership, or any of that type of stuff. More communicative. I think that she would be more communicative in this sign. Yeah, because the person who, or the planet that she's counting on help from, is in her own sign. So she's kind of got that back and forth mutual reception going on right now, for as long as Mercury stays in Taurus, she will have that mutual reception, which gives her a bit of an advantage. But I think she'll be more interested in the airy types of activities, like communications and that type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, as Donna said, Venus is just entered a sign where it has no dignity, so it's peregrine. But look, Venus and Gemini is usually pretty fun. It's very flirty. It's wants to be intellectually stimulated. It's chatty, flirty. I like the energy. When it moves up a little bit further, it will be in its own bounds. I like it. It's a fun, flirty sign for Venus to get into.
Yes. It's a quick kind of an energy that Venus has,
And it,
especially with that mutual reception with Mercury.
yeah, it's got a very young energy. It's very flirty. It's very curious. It's kind of, yeah, just flitting around. I'm kind of thinking like social butterfly with this sort of placement.
Very nice. Very springish.
Oh yes, very much so.
Time to get out there, because Venus is definitely supporting that. Get out there and strike up conversations, and yeah, I'm thinking that's definitely what Venus is asking for. And it's that time of year.
It is. It is. And then not long after, we have a little bit of intensity. We have Venus and Pluto, they're trining. So this is intensity. This is perhaps even concentration on romantic matters or affections. This can be just, yeah, taking that relationship to the next level. Pluto is one of the outer planets. It does pack a wallop. So yeah, there can be power plays and dynamics in here, but on a positive note, this could be just very intense. I mean, some people don't like that. Some people thrive on it. If you thrive on it, this could be a really interesting day.
Yeah, that could also be power struggles with Venus and Pluto. There's still power struggles. That wanting to dominate over another person or thing is also this type of energy as well.
Mhm.
But and it's a trine, so it's going to flow. It's going to be easy to flow. Hopefully, it's typically a good aspect most of the time. Um, this could be a positive transformation, a
Mhm.
Venus Pluto transformation. It could be positive, but it could have a little bit of a power struggle in there. So just be careful of if you're having somebody do your hair, then make sure that you have the direct say of what color it's going to be. You wouldn't want it to be, you know, shockingly green unless you really like that. Make sure that you are the one who is calling the shots. Just, and it could be something that's beautifying. It could be something for you, but it could have a ring of power struggles in there.
That's interesting with Venus being peregrine at the time, as we were saying, no essential dignity. So traditionally, this Venus is like somebody, like a foreigner in a strange place, a stranger in a strange land. So those power dynamics that Donna was talking about could be a little bit more, it can be a more vulnerable position being far away from home with nobody around you to help or assist. You're away from the familiar and the comfortable, so that Pluto could be, yeah.
Just one of those things to watch out for, because not all the things we can't smell roses all the time,
Mhm.
or we wouldn't enjoy them, I think, as thoroughly. Not that we need, crap to hit us, but it does.
Yeah.
And so the next aspect that we are going to have is the sun and Jupiter are going to conjunct or get right on top of each other and blend their energies. So that is we're thinking about the worldly views. We're thinking of expanse in our lives. So that's the energy for that aspect.
Yeah, I'm thinking enthusiasm, expansive, interested in wider views, philosophy, religion, the bigger topics, not the daily concerns that most of us are dealing with. This is kind of opening up a little bit wider. This sun, when the sun comes up and conjoins or is conjunct a planet, it's the start of a new cycle. So this is a new cycle for Jupiter. Jupiter, it's not that strong at the moment. It's been under the beams because it's been so close to the sun. It's going to, after this, it's going to be a little while too. The sun will overtake it and kind of obscure Jupiter during that time. But this is a cazimi. It's in the heart of the sun at the moment. It's a good time for positive optimism, generosity. But this is the start of a new cycle for Jupiter. Happens once a year, so it's not like this is just a 12-year cycle. But this one's happening in Aries, where the sun is exalted. So yeah, this could be quite a positive, upbeat day. What else we got going on that day? It doesn't look like, oh, okay. Yeah, we've got Venus, Saturn coming up, but no, that's not too bad. I think this is rather positive.
This is where Jupiter's going to take the marching orders of the sun and move forward with the whatever it's supposed to be doing. It's plans, whatever the sun's plans for Jupiter there are, that this now where Jupiter is going to try to play them out.
Yeah, yeah. And yes, then we have maybe some trouble in paradise with Venus and Saturn squaring each other. Saturn's what we need to look after, duties, obligations. It can also be heaviness, depression. Venus is a lot lighter. It's in Gemini at the moment. It wants to have fun. It's flirty. It's a bit of a gadabout. This is kind of just a bit of tension here. So when it comes to relationships, affections, and this is all relationships, not just romantic, but probably felt more often for most people in relationships. Yeah, there might be just some heaviness there. Maybe you're called to account, why don't you do this? Or
Yeah, it can be definitely, like you said, that heaviness. And but it doesn't have to be all that bad. I mean, heaviness can be good if you are doing like a commitment to a long relationship, because that square is an action, and Venus is the social butterfly who wants things to all get along and be inclusive, and Saturn is the details. And with the I think with the Saturn Venus square, I think of like responsibilities. That's what
yeah,
when I
yeah.
see a Saturn Venus square, it's like I have responsibilities to the people I love. It's that type of, you might feel withdrawn, or you have to withdraw or recoil because of that Saturn, but the Venus is going to prompt you to do it. And Venus does have that, she does have a little bit of support with that Mercury, with that mutual reception. So she's not all in the dark, but
Mm, mm,
but
yeah,
it is that family, I call it family obligation, or partner obligations. Like, I really don't want to go to a car show. Yeah, I'm just
yeah,
using an
yeah.
example, but I'll do
Actually,
it
I,
because
I
my
like that
partner
with
really likes it.
Venus in Gemini. Yeah.
Car show.
Or maybe a boat show with Saturn in Pisces.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, but no, that's a good call.
Boat
That would
show with
be
the Mercury.
a not so bad manifestation. Just kind of like you do it because, to keep them happy.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, which isn't all bad. And
no.
it does cause action, but you know, it is a square, so it's not, something that you would necessarily be excited about.
Mm.
But I'm sure there are females out there that are excited about car shows and boat shows, but
Oh, I'm sure there are. Yeah, yeah. Mm.
I'm sure. I know some, and I am one. So, it depends on my mood. Maybe this aspect would inspire me to, hey, let's see what's going on.
Very
You
nice.
never know. Anyway, the next aspect. Wow, this went by so fast. It's already the new moon. So
Yeah.
this is going to be happening at about just a little bit past 12 o'clock, about 12 minutes past 12,
Mhm.
um, on April 20th. So, and we're already there. It's
Yeah, I was
also going to be an eclipse.
just
So
looking
be
at it.
prepared.
That prior aspect, we were looking at the Venus
Square
square
Saturn.
Saturn. That's on the 14th. So there's 6 days with no major planetary aspects. Obviously, the moon will be going around and aspecting everything, but not much is happening with these. There might be some that are still in effect, but not a real lot. So that's quite interesting. It's going to be quite still leading up to this solar eclipse. And this is our first lot of Aries eclipses, because we've been doing Taurus and Scorpio eclipses over the last year and a bit. We still aren't finished with the Scorpio Taurus eclipses, but this is the first Aries, and it's at 29 degrees Aries, which is interesting. So it's only just moved back into it because the eclipses are kind of going, how would you put it,
They go
counterclockwise.
backwards.
Yeah. They don't go Aries, Taurus, Gemini. They go Gemini, Taurus, Aries. So, yeah, this will be interesting. Jupiter
Yeah,
quite close to that eclipse, so that's kind of nice.
yeah, it is. It should add some expansion. It should add some
enthusiasm, optimism.
no, but this is it's a good aspect. It's it's a new moon, so you're gonna start things. It's the second chance to start things in Aries. Lynda, I think you had said earlier, before we started recording, that this is the second new moon
Yeah,
in
second
Aries.
new
So
moon in Aries. Yeah, this is at the very end. I'm trying to think what the last one was. It must have been very early, maybe 4 degrees or something. I can't remember. Actually,
yeah, so
hold
this
on.
eclipse, yeah, it's with the North Node. So I'm thinking it's going to be positive. It's going to be with Jupiter.
Mhm.
I'm seeing a lot of positivity with this.
Sextiling the other benefic Venus, so that's good. Its ruler Mars is squaring it by sign. It will be Pluto will be within a degree of, what's that? Oh, squaring it. Oh, I don't like that. And we'll be doing video podcast about that. We've also done podcast about solar and lunar eclipses. I'll put links to them in the video and in the description. But yeah, eclipses, particularly if you have natal planets at 29 degrees of the cardinal signs or very early degrees of the fixed signs, this might be quite a significant eclipse for you. Solar eclipses sometimes bring things to light. They can sometimes bring new people into your life. Yeah, sudden, shocking. This is a new moon. It's when the sun and the moon are together, but with the nodes so close, it's, I'm not sure what sort of eclipse. I don't believe it's a total solar eclipse, so I think it's a hybrid one or something. And with it being an eclipse too, whatever was happening 18 years prior might be applicable. There might be some sort of callback to that, particularly if you do have planets between the late degrees of the cardinal signs and the early degrees of the fixed signs.
Very exciting. I think that these are going to be great times and interesting to watch with the setups of the new planets and their new signs.
Yeah, interesting, very interesting. And like you said, everybody's still getting used to the energies, I think. There's a lot happening, lots happened in March. Yeah, now we're kind of settling down. Wow. Can't believe like we're doing this on the 28th or 29th of March here, and we're already talking about the 20th of April. Just seems so weird.
You know what? This year has really gone by super flying fast.
Yeah, it certainly has.
So, Lynda, what are you doing, and where can people get a hold of you other than you are doing a wonderful job at video?
Oh,
But
thank you. I'm at Scallywag Astrology. I offer natal chart readings, relationship readings, and year ahead readings. And what about you, Donna?
awesome. I am also doing natal readings, year ahead readings, horary, electional, and I also work with the stones for energy healing. So, and you can get a hold of me um, uh, through email at donnabarconsulting@gmail.com, or my website is Donna B Astrology. So you can get a
Very
hold of
nice.
me at either one of those.
Well, thank you for listening.
So
I hope that the full moon in Libra is not too difficult for you. Yeah, it's I think it's going to be a little bit touch and go for some people. Well, maybe not touch and go. I think it's going to be maybe not as joyful as some people anticipated. Better for business than for love. Yes, so thank you for listening, and please share, like, comment. We really, really enjoy your comments, don't we, Donna?
yes, we do. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.